Iwa Pele is more so about aligning with your destiny. Everything in Ifa is about your destiny. You want to keep that in mind because a lot of times people want to come to Ifa or any traditional religion within African culture and look at it from a Christian or an Islamic perspective, like all of the laws and everything applies blanketly to everyone, and that is not true. Definitely, there are universal principles that are going to apply to us, like being in balance and things like that. But balance can look different from person to person, as I said before, especially when we're talking about things like taboos. I got a question from you guys about whether Iwa Pele is different from being a nice person. So being a nice person doesn't not necessarily mean that you are automatically in Iwa Pele. You could actually be out of Iwa Pele, and I'm going to get to that shortly, right? So being nice is surface level, right? It's based, and it can be very much so circumstantial. You could be too nice, too kind, right? And you can also be inauthentically kind, and that can actually be violating the principles of Iwo Pele for you, right? Because some people actually have taboos related to them not allowing people to take advantage of them, not being too nice, not being too giving, and things like that. And so, if that is applicable to you and you are operating in that space where you're being overly kind or overly generous, you are actually in violation of your taboos and you're not in balance at that point. And then obviously any type of inauthenticity um, is going to put you out of alignment with anything that's balanced. So that's not going to be it either, right? And you can absolutely, even when you should be operating in a space of being nice to other people. You can still operate from a space of ego, fear, manipulation, things like that, right? Because a lot of people are nice when it comes to the workplace or what have you. They're trying to be nice to their boss. They're fake nice or what have you, or nice people around them so that they can get things from them to manipulate them. Sometimes people are nice again because of fear. They don't want to lose their job or they don't want to lose a relationship, so forth and so on. So you have to kind of put the brakes on it right there when we're talking about the subjective aspects of character and things like that. Okay. You will Pele this about what's going on in within you, internal discipline, being spiritually mature, understanding, again, your taboos. And when I say taboos, let me qualify that because you get your permanent taboos when you get initiated. That doesn't mean that you cannot know some of your taboos, especially the ones that are applicable to you at the moment or for an extended time frame before you get initiated. Because even after you get initiated, you can get a reading and certain taboos can come up for you for the moment, like you shouldn't be involved in this or that are not part of your permanent taboos or warnings and things like that. So you can get some of that information out. If you know your head or reach a lot of that, you will, I won't say a lot, but some of that you'll know also, like certain things that are taboo to a head or reacher, for instance, Obatala being one. Like Obatala is famously or infamously known for not drinking alcohol, not getting drunk and things like that, palm wine, etc. So his children are encouraged to stay away from. Sometimes it is taboo actually for them to drink palm wine no matter what, but some of them will have a higher degree of challenges when they consume alcohol than others will at certain times in their experience. So you want to be very careful with that. Okay. Another question you guys asked is it the same across all lineages of Ifa? Meaning, like the Isheshe, the Lukumi, the Santeria, Palo, all of those derivatives that we work with in the tradition across the diaspora. And so, absolutely, the core of Iwa Pele is going to be the same because Iwa Pele, the principles come from the Odu Ifa, right? And so that's going to be the same. Obviously, there are variations in how the Odu Ifa is interpreted, and there are discrepancies when it comes to the focal points of different aspects of the Odu Ifa, depending on the house or what have you. All right.